Aloha, and my name is Geralyn St Joseph, and we're here to talk about the gifts of the eclipse. So we recently had an eclipse on August 21st. This is 2017, although you can view this at any time. If you found it, it probably has something in it for you. What we're going to discuss is looking where we generally do not. Looking to our dark side. Looking in the places that we usually don't feel comfortable looking. So what we want to do at this period of time is we really want to find our peace, and we want to center ourselves and try and pull ourselves out of the chaos. Right now, a lot of things are going on. There's a lot of turbulence. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of uncertainty. Uncertainty, I would say, is the biggest thing currently, especially here in America, although I do see that it is worldwide. And what we need to do as individuals is we need to find our center and keep our place so that the whole world doesn't go crazy, basically. We have a responsibility to ourselves and to others to do what we can to make things work and to make the world a better place. So how do we do that? What does that mean? Well, the eclipse shakes things up. It makes the world look different. It creates a different kind of light. A light that allows us to see in the darkness. So what does this mean in a metaphysical sense? It means that it gives us the opportunity to really go within and look within ourselves to see what's going on there. And to see it with a new perspective, a different eye, something that we haven't done before. So when we look at this and we look at ourselves differently, we look at it with a greater understanding or a greater openness at the very least to see what are our real motivations. What is driving us? What is it that we really, really want? We're basically addressing the subconscious. We're addressing our dark side. Everyone has anger. Everyone has negative thoughts. Everyone has times in their lives when they really wish they didn't have to deal with whatever they're dealing with, or they may even wish that they weren't here at all. It doesn't make you bad, it doesn't make you suicidal, and it doesn't make you sick when these things come into your field and flow through you. It's what we do with these emotions and how we react to these times in our lives that make us who we are. But it's in acknowledging that it's there that we become more powerful and become more our authentic self. So, how do we go about doing this? During the eclipse, leading up to and now that we're in the shadow of it, we are being triggered by things and feeling things. Probably things that we have felt for a long time, but it's more dramatic right now. It's more urgent. And it's more in a way that we can use to lead us forward. Some people will allow to push them backwards, and some people will completely slip off the edge. I've been noticing that we've been losing people, especially young people, in a variety of ways. Be aware of this. They're moving past the mortal coil and moving into something different. Whether it's better or not, we have yet to see. We are looking to raise our vibrations and become the best that we possibly can be, so that as we move forward and as we become more of who we are and we ascend, hopefully it's an ascension and not a descension. At this period of time, there's a great dichotomy. And as this pulling becomes greater, there are people who are going to be pro-peace, help others, look for the good, find ways to be a better person, save the planet, take care of animals, respond to those who can give you nothing. Just be a better person overall. Becoming more of who we were born to be. Discovering by our triggers where we are off our route. By off our route, I mean that as we live in this world, we tend to sway and flow with the current. Some of that is good, some of that is not so good. All of Germany swayed and flowed with the current when Hitler took over because that seemed to be a good thing to do at the time. It did make Germany a more powerful place. Their bellies were full. They had roofs over their heads until they didn't. So, although we want to be able to flow with the current, we have to make sure that it's our current, that it is a just current and a current of integrity, a current of our true spiritual nature, a current of compassion, consideration, and conscientiousness. The 3 C's. So as we become more aware of ourselves and we feel ourselves being triggered by different things, we need to take note of it. Not just allow the trigger to take us completely out of control and road rage and all that kind of thing. No. Notice it and come back into your center. Okay, what is triggering me? Why is it triggering me? What do I need to do with this now? So if someone's telling a racist joke, say, in front of you and you start feeling triggered, is the response to that to get all mad and get in the person's face? Is that going to teach them anything? No. Is it to start a conversation maybe? Maybe just state, I really don't think that that's very funny. Do you really think that's funny? Think about that for a second and leave it there. There doesn't need to be an argument. It doesn't need to be forced down anyone else's throat. If you leave pearls of wisdom, the person has the choice to either pick it up or not pick it up. It's their choice. That's another biggie that we learn. As we accept our own shadow sides, is that not everyone is going to accept theirs. Not everyone is going to accept responsibility for the things that they do. And also not everyone is willing to really fully be who they are. Not everyone is going to stand up. I recently again watched a video, probably on YouTube, about the experiments done that have been done consistently, actually, I think since the 50s they started doing them, or the 60s, where they have a person come into a lab and they're going to give somebody an electric shock. They don't see the person necessarily. They know they're giving them electric shock. They can hear them scream in pain. And there's someone there in a white coat telling them, okay, up the amperage and whatnot, who gave them the rules. They have been getting consistent results since the beginning of the experiment. I had watched another YouTube video stating that in the last several years, the results have been a little bit different, and depends on who's at the controls. So there's a certain percentage of society, people who I call our natural leaders, who will, under circumstances where most people give in and just listen to whoever they think is an authority or just look for an authority figure, they are the ones who take the lead. They are the Harriet Tubmans of the world. They are the Martin Luther Kings of the world. They are the FDRs of the world, because, he was under a lot of stress and scrutiny also. These are the people who come in and say, nah, that doesn't seem quite right to me. I think I'm going to do something a little bit different. And sometimes people that we don't expect at all have this ability. So when you're choosing a leader to follow, when you're looking at someone to listen to, make sure your own mind is there also. Make sure that your own instinct and intuition is fully engaged, and that you're paying attention when you get those twangs in the pit of your stomach and your solar plexus that are telling you that this isn't quite right. Because if we do not speak out and do something about an injustice as it's happening, it's going to be a lot harder down the line to speak out against it. It's our responsibility to look out for one another and to be true to ourselves and our own soul. When we are not true to ourselves and not true to our own souls, that's when we suffer depression. That's when anxiety happens. That's when the world around us really seems crazy and we get really, really frustrated. And we will complain and we will remark, but we will not take responsibility. What embracing our shadow sides can show us and teach us is how to take responsibility for who we are and become natural leaders. Become the person in the room that people look at because they know that you have integrity and that you speak your truth, whether or not everyone agrees with it. Some people may say that that opens the door to hate rhetoric. Hate rhetoric opens the door to discussion. Conflict opens the door to growth. If we look at these things as ways to learn and learning points and things to push through, instead of pushing against it and making it stronger, we simply drop it. It's like a tug of war. When you're playing tug of war, if you drop the rope, the other team falls down. And you're still standing. So you're not the one getting dragged through the mud. If you allow the other team to make fools of themselves and you simply speak in the same leveled manner, with integrity, with knowledge, you are logical, you don't go off the deep end being all kinds of crazy and being overly emotional and trying to shout over someone, don't raise your voice, better your argument. So, when we look at our shadow sides, it teaches us two things. It shows us the world at large in a different light, so we can see behind the scenes and recognize when someone is coming from a place that is not of integrity and that is not of their own volition. Now, just because you allow someone else to control you doesn't give you a pass. Just because you refuse to take responsibility for something doesn't mean you're not responsible. So wake up. Now is the time. It's time to choose. Are you going to be fully awake? Are you going to be fully responsible for who you are? Do you want peace? Are you pro-peace? Mother Teresa said, I am not anti-war, and I will never go to an anti-war rally because I'm not anti-war. I'm pro-peace. Being for something gives it energy. So does being against it in a different way. Don't give your energy into things that you don't believe in. Throw your energy behind things that you do believe in. If you believe in sustainable resources, throw your energy behind that. Learn about it. Educate other people. Assist in the building of that. Do things on your own to help it. There are a million ways that you can change the world. I even wrote a book called 50 Ways That You Can Change the World. Little things to change the world every day to make it a better place. You are better than you think. You are stronger than you think. Now is the time. No more waiting. Get out there. Be pro-peace. Because peace is possible. Blessings and mahalo.